Roger Stone here for Colonial Metals Group. Colonial Metals Group helps Americans protect their future with the most trusted store of wealth in human history. That's actual physical gold and silver. If you're retiring or you're retired, go to colonialmetalsgroup.com/stone right now for your free Roger Stone Colonial Metals Group Retirement Protection Kit. Or call 800-747-6589. That's 800-747-6589. Call now to receive your free home safe and up to $7,500 in free silver.
A common sense recap of the day's biggest stories. It's John Catsimatidis and Rita Cosby. Katz and Cosby on 77 WABC.
We are now joined by Victoria Coates, former Deputy National Security Advisor in the Trump administration. Victoria, Russia's now saying they're going to retaliate. That's one after this announcement.
Is that what Garland said?
Well, Garland came out and said that the Russians are trying to influence the election. Surprise, surprise, John, before another election.
After everything is happening, is anybody going to believe the Justice Department anymore? After the admissions made by the Southern District, by the spokesman.
Yeah, that's a great point. And we're going
to talk to McCarthy later on.
Andy McCarthy, great legal guru, is coming up. We're going to talk to them more about that.
When Garland made the announcement, he had about a zillion people there to back him up.
But the announcement was such hogwash.
Exactly.
Ed.
That's why they had to have that big show.
What about Iran? What about China?
Exactly.
Well, let's go to Victoria Coates. Victoria, they're announcing that these two employees of Russia Today were part of like an online influence program. You got to be kidding me. You have the Iranians trying to kill President Trump, and that's not even a part of what they're talking about.
No, it's just crazy. Good to be with all you guys. I mean, I'm going to defer to Andy, who's my favorite legal eagle, on that side of it. But I was embarrassed yesterday to see the Attorney General of the United States trotted out to complain about $10 million that was spent by the Russians on propaganda for the U.S. Election. I mean, Mark Zuckerberg personally spent $400 million in the last cycle to influence through social media. I mean, I would much rather hear some more about that, especially because he's come out and said it was a mistake. So what did that money buy? And as you said, Rita, they mentioned China and Iran, but I mean, that seems to me much more pernicious given all of Iran's other activities, funding the pro-Hamas protests, assassination plot against the former president. That seems a lot more deadly to me, having one of their terrorist proxies shoot an American hostage in the back of the head last week. Why aren't we focusing on that threat? Why is it $10 million on the hands of Russia Today, which no one ever reads anymore? As far as I know, that was debunked about a decade ago as any kind of valuable news service. I wouldn't know anyone who would even cite it.
Did you see also, Victoria, that it's coming out that, like, as part of it, they're saying they were trying to influence conservative pundits, conservative hosts. I mean, this to me looks so politically charged. It's like, I think about the whole Russia. Why not go after the 51 Intel guys who thought it was Russia disinformation? Where are they? Why are they not being called in?
No, this brings back really bad memories from 2016, particularly from the transition when some incoming high Trump officials, notably General Mike Flynn, met with Russian counterparts, which was normal. I mean, that's what you do when you work for a campaign or a transition. You start to try to communicate priorities and red lines to foes and friends alike. And that was perverted and used by the career bureaucracy to trip General Flynn up in a completely irregular FBI interview. So nobody will talk to anybody at this point. And now they're trotting back out this Russia hoax to try to discredit President Trump going into the election. It's clearly backfiring on them. I mean, as I said, I thought it was embarrassing to see what they dragged out. I mean, that this isn't really evidence. And then you have Putin this morning saying, I support Kamala Harris. I find her laugh fascinating. Well, let her go laugh at him then so we don't have to listen to it.
Go, Judge Weinberg.
Victoria, good to talk to you. Let me ask you a question. Why are they indicting these Hamas people, half of whom are dead? Why aren't they dealing with this as a national security issue, as the war against Islamic terrorism, which is a war? This is not supposed to be in criminal courts.
Well, Judge, thank you for that question, because this is what's been really disturbing to me since the revelations of last Saturday, that the 6 hostages from the Nova Music Festival, including Hirsch Goldberg Poland, had been summarily executed as they were being slowly starved to death in the terror tunnels underneath Gaza, that there has been no response from this administration except to trot out some indictments of dead people. That's their response to the execution of an American citizen. We have 1/3 of the U.S. Navy in the region, and they've been patting themselves on the back that they've deterred some major Iranian attack on Israel with that show of firepower. But what happened over the weekend shows us it's just for show. They can slaughter Americans in cold blood, and we're not even going to fire off a tomahawk in response. We're going to put the pressure on Israel and the blame on Israel, not on where it should be, Yahya Sinwar and Hamas.
Absolutely. Victoria, thank you very much. Great points. They should be pounding
Those
the fist.
Great points, Victoria.
Great ones.
I mean, we can open up the Red Sea in 3 days if the commander-in-chief wants to do it. And it's been closed now for 3, 4, 5 months, and the price of oil is up $15 a barrel to where it should be right now. And you know what that means? Somebody in Washington is on Iran's side.
Oh, I couldn't agree with you more. We have Phil Gordon, who is Kamala Harris's national security advisor, under investigation by the Congress. There's so many inroads for Iran in this current administration that would only expand if we have, God forbid, a President Harris.
Yeah, unbelievable. Victoria, thank you very much. Love having you here. Thank you.
Of course. Take care.
Thank you.